Hey guys, this is the chapter 7-5 notes. It's sum and difference formulas. If I asked you what the cosine of 45 degrees was, then you clearly would know how to just go onto your unit circle, look at 45 degrees, look for the x-coordinate, and you would give me an answer of rad 2 over 2. All right, but what if I asked you for the cosine of 75 degrees? All right, so this is where the sum and difference formulas come in really handy. If I wanted an exact value, okay? This is the sum and difference formula for cosine. The cosine of alpha plus beta is equal to the cosine of alpha times cosine of beta minus the sine of alpha times the sine of beta. The difference formula for cosine is cosine of alpha minus beta is equal to the cosine of alpha times cosine of beta plus sine of alpha times sine of beta. All right, here's how it works. If I wanted to find the exact value of the cosine of 75 degrees, I could use, say, for instance, the sum formula for cosine. I could say that the cosine of 75 degrees, okay, is equal to the cosine of 45 degrees plus 30 degrees. Okay? If I did this, then think about it. The 45 degrees is my alpha. The 30 degrees is my beta. Okay? And so I'm going to apply the formula. I'm going to say then that's the cosine of, I'm using this first formula right here, guys, is the cosine of 45 degrees times the cosine of 30 degrees minus the sine of 45 degrees times the sine of 30 degrees. And if I do this out, well, this is going to be, this cosine of 45 degrees is rad 2 over 2. I'm going to multiply that by the cosine of 30 degrees. The cosine of 30 degrees is rad 3 over 2. Then from that I'm going to subtract, I'm going to multiply the sine times the sine of 45, which is rad 2 over 2. Multiply that by the sine of 30, which is 1/2. Okay? And then just finish it out. Rad 2 times rad 3 is rad 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Minus rad 2 times 1, which is rad 2 over 4. There's my answer, rad 6 minus rad 2. Those are not like radicals, so we'll leave it just like that, and that is your exact answer, okay? All right, so these are pretty easy. I don't think I need to do much more. Maybe we'll do something like this. If I talked about the difference formula maybe for cosine, and I wanted to find the exact value, clearly now my cosine is in radians. So the cosine of pi over 12, well, maybe I could say something like, well, what that would equal, the cosine of pi over 12 would equal the cosine of, say, how about 4 pi over 12 minus 3 pi over 12. Could do that. Could do a lot of things, actually. Think about it. So 4 pi over 12 is the same as saying pi over 3. And 3 pi over 12 is the same as saying pi over 4. Okay? You could have maybe done, how about the 3 pi over 12 minus 2 pi over 12. You could have done that too. Haha, you could do a lot of things. All right, if I do this one though, the one I first chose, I'm going to say, well, this is going to equal the cosine of pi over 3 times the cosine of pi over 4. This time I am using the difference formula, so now I'm going to add to that the sine, the sine of pi over, oh, let's do it this way, hold on. I don't like the way, it's got to be perfect for me. Pi over 3. Okay. All right, so now I don't even need these parentheses. I don't know why I'm doing that, but anyway, whatever. Okay, so now it's going to be times the sine of pi over 3 times the sine of pi over 4. Okay, you guys could finish this up. Well, I guess we might as well do it. Cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. Cosine of pi over 4 is rad 2 over 2. Plus the sine of pi over 3, which is rad 3 over 2. Times the sine of pi over 4, which is rad 2 over 2. Finish it up. You get rad 2 over 4 plus rad 6 over 4, which equals rad 2 plus rad 6 over 4. Okay, exact answer. All right, moving on. We're not going to do this one. We're going to keep going here. Just want to show you this very quickly. If I wanted to find the cosine of pi over 2 minus theta, Well, if I follow, that's obviously the difference formula right here. So my alpha is pi over 2. My beta, in this case, is theta. Beta is theta. All right, so this is going to equal the cosine of pi over 2 times the cosine of theta plus the sine of pi over 2 times the sine of theta. Okay, so cosine of pi over 2 is 0. So I'm going to have 0 times cosine of theta. Sine of pi over 2 is 1 times the sine of theta. If I do all of this out, look what it comes out to be. It comes out to be the sine of theta. I'm going to give you a wild guess of if you tried to find the sine of pi over 2 minus theta, what it would come out to be. I'll let you guys try it. But basically, this is what happens. All right, and we did talk about this a little bit, that these are those horizontal shifts, those phase shifts, and we did say that if we shifted cosine and sine pi over 2 to the left or right, we end up with the other trig function. Okay, here's where I wanted to come up with now the sum and difference formula for sine. It's a little bit different than the cosine. Check it out. It's going to end up being the sine of alpha plus beta is equal to the sine of alpha times the cosine of beta plus the cosine of alpha times the sine of beta. Well, and then look at the difference one also, okay? Here we go. Let's just do this one. We're going to use the sum formula for this. So let's say that I want to find the sine of 7 pi over 12. Well, I could say, well, that would equal the sine of 4 pi over 12 plus 3 pi over 12. Okay, and now let's use the this first formula, the sum formula. That's going to equal, so obviously this is my alpha. This is my beta. All right, so that's going to equal the sine of, well, 4 pi over 12. What's 4 pi over 12? 4 pi over 12 is pi over 3. What's 3 pi over 12? Well, 3 pi over 12 is pi over 4. So it's going to be the sine of pi over 3 times the cosine of pi over 4 plus the cosine of pi over 3 times the sine of pi over 4. Okay, so here we go. Sine of pi over 3 is rad 3 over 2. The cosine of pi over 4 is rad 2 over 2. Cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2 times the sine of pi over 4 is rad 2 over 2. Okay, a lot of these answers start to look the same, but yeah, a little different. So rad 6 plus rad 2 all over 4. That is your exact answer for the sine of 7 pi over 12. Wow. I'm telling you guys to do this one, but we just did that one. So what the heck. Let's just talk about this. If I gave this to you the other way around, I would say something like, find the exact value of the sine of 80 degrees times the cosine of 20 degrees minus the cosine of 80 degrees times the sine of 20 degrees. Well, you would look at this and say, well, what is this? Here are my choices. It could be the sum of cosine, the difference of cosine. It could be the sum of sine, the difference of sine. Notice, it looks exactly like sine alpha cosine beta minus, that looks like this one right here. So if that's the case, your 80 is your alpha, your 20 degrees is your beta, and like I just said, it's the difference, so that's going to be equal to the sine of alpha minus beta, which is equal to sine of 80 degrees minus 20 degrees, which is equal to the sine of 60 degrees, which is going to equal rad 3 over 2. Okay, so pretty easy stuff. That's it, guys. We're all done. Do the homework. I will post this on Schoology right now. Thanks. Bye.